episode of the RMR Training Podcast is brought to you by Roxop. Roxop is the #1 analytics tool for your HYROX racing and training. I've used it the past year, and it has, without a doubt, made me a better, smarter athlete. Getting to see everything in one spot and not having to make guesses about where you are strong and where you are weak, what you need to work on, it makes a world of difference. It's helped me understand what I need to do in training and how to approach race day. You can get your free custom report with the link down in the show notes. Thank you to Roxop. All right, hello, what's going on? This is the RMR Training Podcast. We got the full squad out here today. We're across the world. Meg Jacoby out there in Cyprus. What's happening?
What's up? The weather's great.
Weather's great, I'm sure. RK down south. How are things?
Bill, fall's popping, dude.
You're in the fall? Yeah, it's straight winter here. You got the colors there now?
Yeah, man, like the first and second week of November, it's just like prime time here. So I was out in the mountains yesterday doing a trail run.
Look at you.
Very nice.
Spartan world, still prepping for it. Comes back to Tyler.
You never know. You never know.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying?
Is it really winter already, though, in Colorado?
Well, it hasn't snowed. Most of the leaves are down. Most of the plants are dead. It just, it gets into the 20s at night, but it's been super nice during the day. But yeah, it gets cold, sunny. You know how it is. Meg, do you have the fall?
Been too long.
Do you have the fall in Cyprus, or is it just
there's no fall. No, there's no fall. So it's really weird because I went from it still trips me up a little bit because in my brain I want to be wearing boots and sweaters, and then it's 80 degrees here. So I'm in a tank top. And
your fall fashion wardrobe is just dwindling. You don't have to get that winter apparel ready.
I keep bringing boots here because I'm trying to move all my stuff over, and I'm why do I have suede boots on an island? This makes no sense, Meg.
No pumpkin spice lattes out there. Yeah. I'm sure they look good though. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the races that you both run and how you're feeling fitness wise around the performances, and just kind of what training kind of did for you in those, and kind of what you're thinking training wise going forward. So where to start? Who wants to start? Kent, you in?
I'm in.
Ensign, it's more
what do you
fresh.
Want to know?
You raced recently. So you stopped doing sled push training? You're just done pushing the sled?
Yo, what's going on with these sleds, bro? What's going on out here?
You just decided you're good pushing sleds now? So there was, I made some piece of content on I think it was YouTube where I said one of the lessons that I've learned in HYROX is that even though this is supposed to be this controllable race, this objective thing, there are things that you just cannot control sometimes, mostly the sled lanes.
Facts.
And if you run enough of these races, you're going to catch a bad break. And it's happened to me. Meg, you might just be too strong for it to matter for you. Doesn't even matter. Jacked. You just get, the bad sled lane doesn't matter. Have you had?
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Are we here? Was that me?
You cut you've cut out, but we can kind of hear you.
We're back.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
But
you can't see me. I see myself. All right. Well, I'm just gonna talk.
Have you had something in terms of a race? I'm trying to think. Where? Oh well, you had that thing where the rope fell off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. And that was at a world championship. That was not great.
In a race that came down to seconds.
Yeah, it did.
Has there been any other examples for you where you've just been that was something that was just not in my control?
Not that I recall.
Rich.
Really?
You had one at Worlds in doubles with the ski.
Oh yeah,
equipment malfunction.
Yeah, my ski erg broke. Definitely lost time there. I've got hit with a bad carpet before too, and that was really, really devastating. It's really hard when that happens. So Kent, you had one of those situations this past weekend?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm out here paying for registrations, training hard, And then I show up to a race and this happens. I mean, honest, I don't know how you fix a situation like this, to be honest. It looked like
But
the lane
what
that I
was
got
going
put
on?
in.
It was
Yes.
roll. Can you explain like what the issue was?
It was almost like the carpet wasn't fully taped down in my lane. It wasn't gripped to the concrete. So when I pushed it, there was a ripple, a pretty big ripple on the front of it.
Like a wave. You kind of had to
like
move.
a wave. Yeah, like a wave. And it made the friction of pushing the sled just astronomically more difficult. And I knew, and I wanted to be aggressive on the sled push. That was like one of my plans coming into this race. So when I first started pushing it, I knew within like 3 to 4 steps, I'm like, maybe it won't be this way going back the other direction. But I was like, oh boy, this isn't good, because I could feel my legs getting pumped like pretty quick. And then I turned around, went back the other way, and it was the same issue.
It was the same both way. And like, if that's happening, something else, you know, that you could potentially start thinking is like, maybe it's the same for everybody else. But really, when everything is time based, right? Like, it kind of even doesn't matter if it's if it's slow for everybody in a race like that. It's like, yes, you're always racing the competition, you want to be competitive, but like, it's kind of a time trial.
Yeah.
So like,
and I was looking over at the other lanes. It wasn't happening.
Moving.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a little bit frustrating. I'm not going to say like that was the thing. But it might have been the spark of kind of what happened or what transpired after that. And you know, I felt I'm one of those athletes that I know pretty early on if it's going to be a good day or not. Like I can sometimes tell as soon as that first run going into the ski. But usually on the run after the ski, I usually know already by that point if it's going to be a good day or not. And on the ski, I started doing this thing where I try not to stare at the screen as much. I just kind of let my eyes wander around so I don't get fixated on a specific pace. I can just concentrate on the effort that I'm putting out. So going off more like RPE than a pace on that station. And I finally looked up around like 700 meters, saw the pace that I was going, and came out of ski with 325 or 326. So it was like 143 500 pace.
It's moving.
And it felt so smooth. I mean, I came out on that next run and it was like butter, and came into the sleds, heart rate's down.
Were you winning?
Ready to attack. No, I was just off of Dylan.
Because did Dylan run harder that first run?
Dylan and Colin,
right?
Yeah. But it was pretty close. I mean, it was just like a few seconds. Felt smooth, ready to attack the push, and then like totally got punched in the throat. And you know, I was pretty conservative in Boston on the sleds because I wanted to make sure I didn't put myself in a blow up situation too early. And I pushed it in like 230 that day and was conservative. And this time I pushed it in like 250 something and like worked so hard to get it done. And long story short, it just kind of zapped my running legs from that point on. Like I just couldn't run. The stations were okay up until Farmer Carry, when I made the smart decision to put my gloves back on. You know what gloves I'm talking about, Rich. You recommended them to me.
You know, I got those Amazon gloves,
dude. They don't work well when they get wet.
Not at all. No. Why were they were wet? Because they were like in your pockets, or like, why were they wet?
They're in like kind of tucked in my pants a little bit.
Mm.
So I put them back on, thinking I'm like, I'm gonna save a few seconds. That way I don't have to go get chalk, all this and that. And within like 50 meters, I knew. I was like, oh boy. So I ended up setting it down like 4 times.
Oh man.
And it was the worst Farmer Carry that I've like ever had in my life. And I took the gloves off, but my hands were still so sweaty that, I mean, I was in a lose-lose situation
Have you
right there.
ever worn gloves in a race
Never,
before?
not once.
Yeah, that's what you fucking get. That's what you fucking get. Are you kidding me? I've been making fun of Rich for the gloves for like 3 years.
Don't care. Don't care.
You
They were
gotta
good. They
stay
were good on
strong
sled
with
pull.
me.
I got my grip trainer. They're great for sled pull.
Yeah.
I got my grip trainer right here. Okay, but we're still
There you
putting gloves
go.
on, no matter what. My first race that I raced in Orlando, this was I guess 2021, I think. BK was down there, Bracken Crocker, and I was before the race. I was kind of like thinking, I was like, should I wear gloves? Like I have these receiver gloves. He was like, yeah, there's no downside. I was like, yeah, bet. And then I wore them the whole time. And by the time I got so I wore them through ski and push and
Wore them the whole race.
I was just, and by the time I got, and it was, Orlando, I think in April, it was so hot. It was incredibly humid. By the time I got to Farmers, like my hands were soaked all the way through. I couldn't carry it for like 50 meters. I had like a 4-minute Farmers carry or something like that. I took the gloves off. So I was trying to wipe my hands on the carpet. It just like nothing was happening. Not great. Those ones where they're like the wide receiver gloves where it's like that, like, I don't know, like sheen plastic. When they're wet, it's like slippery, like actually slippery.
Yeah. So I had like a 2-minute and something farmer carry. And at that point, I was still fighting at that point, for every position. I was still, I think, in like third, maybe fourth. And still on pace for another sub 60. But after that, I just kind of checked out.
Yeah,
like,
because I mean, you would have probably been. Were you with Pelkifer at that point?
I think he passed me there.
So he was right there. So yeah, you were probably looking at 57 high.
Yeah,
57 high. Dang. So there's two. Yeah, two. That was just a tough day.
yeah.
And
I mean,
not
honestly,
the day one.
I got back to my room that night and was just like, what? And I'm by myself, obviously. The fam didn't come, and I'm just like, what the fudge just happened out there today? I wasn't really upset because I knew that most of it probably didn't have to do with my fitness,
Right.
Like my fitness feels really, really strong right now, and it's unfortunate that happened, but I can at least find a little bit of peace in knowing that, like, okay, some of that was out of my control. And just like, it is what it is. Move on to the next race.
Is your sled, is your carpet put down really tight at home?
Yeah.
With your training? Okay, see, mine, I think I'll be the lucky bee who, if it does happen to me, that's how mine is at home. Mine bubbles up the whole way down, the whole way back. Or if I get lucky on the way back, you realize how hard it was to push the one direction, because then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this is moving way faster, all of a sudden. So I that's how mine are at home when I train. But I saw the same exact thing in Stuttgart, and I have to give Fabi Eisenlauer, sorry, my guy.
Ish. That's close, I think.
Ish. I got to give him props because he had the exact same thing happen to him, and I watched it before my race, so I knew don't go in lane 3 on the sled push. But he had the same exact problem, and they had to pick the second all the dudes were out, they picked that strip up and upholstered it because they saw also how bad it was. So this is definitely happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an unfortunate thing, and I hope they can get it corrected, because it's not necessarily just the time there, it's the energy. So then it's, what is that doing to the rest of your race? That's the problem. It's the amount of extra output you have to put in to move it that then blows up the next thing a little bit more, and then the next thing a little bit more. And now we've created additional fatigue when we're in a race that our whole goal is energy management. That's how you do a great race from start to finish, is knowing energy management for yourself, how to get here paced perfectly or as close as you can to that. And so if you are expending way too much energy up front, like it's going to affect the farmers, it's going to affect the lunges, it's going to affect everything that comes after in some way. But especially the back half, right? Like you might get through the next couple things all right, but then the back half probably gets a little bit more of a sufferfest. So I hope that they get it corrected. I also will say that I think the new carpet is much slipperier. Not in the push maybe, but like on the pull for me, I had the same kind of feeling like I'm leaning back. My feet are starting to slip out from underneath me. That for me was not that's a strength station of mine. Like I usually am one of the fastest on sled pull. And I had a particularly, like it was fine, but it wasn't like what I'm capable of doing. And I could feel that it was definitely like the carpet was not, I wasn't having the best time on the carpet.
The sled pull gets really tough too when you can't dig your feet into the carpet.
Everything
Yep.
it makes everything else harder. You got to grip a
Like
little bit harder.
the whole reason I'm like good at it is because of that. Like I'm good at that part.
You drive your feet into the ground.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, this isn't going as good as I wanted it to, you know? It was fine, but it could be better. So I think hopefully we see some things happening where this can become a better thing. I don't like to blame stuff. I don't like, I think we're pretty fair on this podcast about that, but
it is what it is sometimes.
there's definitely something going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like there's just like how it was like this before too, but it seemed to be less lane to lane and more like venue to venue. It'd just be like, sometimes there would be like worse lanes than others, but I think maybe the margin of the error was tighter when the carpet wasn't so thick, because this turf is like thick, right? So if it's not laid down, maybe it is just drastically different. Where like the carpet part, you might just have like an older lane that just doesn't like, go as well. So I guess like in those examples, right? Like when that happens, like, yeah, I'm looking at Fabi's splits too. It's like almost the exact same race can. Like he just had like a 250, and then like things got really hard. And when this happened for me in Madrid, yeah, my pull was blown to pieces because I was like not recovered by the time I got around to it.
It's like if there was another station there, maybe you could continue
it was like
to work
low
through it.
Or
right.
farmers. Yeah. But if it's like back to back highest output stations, it's really, really hard to bounce back from a tough sled lane. So say this does happen again, or if like you've thought about this, and Meg, when you're out there training with similar circumstances, what would, I guess, Kent, what would you do differently? And Meg, how would you try to how would you try to get people to like change what they're doing? Maybe like, can you do anything to salvage this? Like no matter what, it's going to be slower, right? Like if you have a bad lane, like you're just kind of like, okay, this is not going to be my best day. You could probably have your best fitness, right? But like you might not have your best day. Like, is there a strategy if the sled push is doing that type of thing that you found would work better?
Well, I can say I basically doubled down on working hard on the sled push because that was my plan going into the race. And
like this brick wall
is always 2020.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm like, you know what I should have done is I should have accepted the fact that, hey, like this is not ideal right now, and we have to make an in-race adjustment, and we may come out of here 45 seconds to a minute off of where we want to be, but we have to trust our fitness that we can make this back up as the race goes on, because really it is still pretty damn, I mean, it's the second station, there's a lot of race left. And I was like, oh God, I got to get out of here. These guys are moving it quicker. I felt I could, the pressure was building for me in that station, watching the other guys move it quicker. And if I could have just taken a second and just accepted this for what it was and come out of there, 45 seconds to a minute, like I said, but not have your legs completely blown up, like at least I give myself a chance for the rest of the race. This basically ended ended my day. And it's unfortunate, but it's a lesson. It's a lesson in, what to do if this situation kind of ever happens again, or to anyone else out there. Don't panic. Don't freak out. You're just gonna have to adjust your expectations on this station and maybe your strategy as well.
So you were trying to still like say whatever you had strategy. It's like, I'm going to do a full length, quarter length, or half length, whatever. You still try to hit those markers?
I did it. I did the first length exactly all down. And dude, I was
I'm
like
blowing through this. I don't care. Because you're like, maybe it's fine. Maybe I'll be fine.
Dude, even when I was like shaking my legs out to go back the other way, I was like, I feel like I've just been biking for like 2 days straight right now. My quads are just lit.
Meg, is there anything that you would do from a mechanic standpoint, or would you kind of do what Kent's kind of laying out here and just do?
I'm like thinking because
you have to get lower.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think in general with these sleds, you have to get lower. Because I think like they just dive down more if you aren't low. So like I think you need to be lower anyway, than maybe we used to with the older sleds. But it's hard to say because the science says that the more breaks you take, then actually the more energy you lose because it takes way more energy to get it started again.
Right.
So that's where this becomes really tricky because like for me, like I know that. So like in my head, I know my strategy because I don't want to leak energy. So I have my pinpoints. I don't know that I would really change that. I think I would maybe just try to recover more on the next run. Like maybe I would pull it back on the next run and just like say, okay, well, I just gotta like chill here and then hope that like that recovers me enough for like the pull. But
I like that
it's
plan.
hard to say. It's hard to say because when you're in the heat of battle, it's very difficult to like what do I do? What am I supposed to do? I don't even know if we know in that moment yet. Like, have we even figured it out yet? Like fully, I'm not sure. Cause like I didn't even think about the sled pull until way after when I saw my time. And then I was like, oh yeah, that didn't really go as good as I thought. And my feet were slipping. And then the judges were talking to me a shit ton because my feet were sliding towards the line. That's how much they were sliding on the carpet.
Wow.
So then they were chirping me like, be careful with your feet touching the line. Even though like when I had started my initial pull, my feet were nowhere near the line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then
Well,
I'm
yeah.
like, I
got
didn't
a
really
warning there
like
too.
fully grasp it until I had like removed, like the race is over. I could like remove myself and then like analytically go back and go through the whole thing in my brain. Then I was like, oh yeah, that didn't really go as good as I wanted it to. So yeah, if you figure it out, if you know like, something's really wrong here, that would be my advice. Like
Yeah.
chill on the next run, pull it way back, try to get your legs back, and then try to just keep going. Don't overthink it in your brain at the moment.
That's
I
such a
always say this. I always say this. What's behind you is behind you for a reason. We don't look in the rear view mirror. We only look forward. So the next thing to do is just like, okay, it is what it is. It's in the past. Now I have to focus on the task at hand and what I'm doing right now. So just trying not to let it negatively impact your brain like in the middle of the race, because then you're definitely going to blow up. But there's potential to overcome it if you don't go immediately negative.
That's like such a great point. And like you said, you probably don't even know it's real. You probably don't even realize it's happening until, or like what the cost is going to be, what the extent of what happened to you like was until it's over.
Exactly.
Right? And you're like, oh no. And like maybe on that run, you're like, okay, maybe I'm okay. Cause it is still so early. You're like, is this typically how I feel? I'm not sure. Like, am I all right? And then it's not going to be, but if you start dwelling on it, yes, Meg, like you said, I've had stuff like that happen so often. It's like, oh, that didn't go how I wanted to. And like, then I'm like thinking about other things other than what I'm trying to do right then and there. So yeah, short memory. But it's definitely harder. It's easier said than done on that front for both of those things, to have the wherewithal, because you probably need to have had run like as many as we have, right? We've run like, Meg, I don't know how you probably up to 20.
I'm not even that many. I'm not even that many.
Not a ton. Because I'm up over 30 at this point, I believe. Kent, you're 27 to high result, and even that, I'm also 27. Look at that. So, but we've run almost 30 of these things, and it's hard to have the wherewithal in those moments because all these races are meaningful generally, right? So it's like we want to be really focused. There's something that is going. We're coming into this with some kind of goal. So being able to have that wherewithal, I think, would take a lot of mental practice. But just like having the awareness to know that this stuff can happen will at least give you a better chance of like overcoming it to a certain extent when it inevitably does happen.
It sucks that was like my
controllables.
Right.
Yeah. It sucks that was like my mindset, was to be aggressive on that station. Like that was an area that I wanted to attack. I surely did.
And you're like, I'm doing it no matter what. Because I mean, but like, you just don't, especially if you do the full length too. Like, if it's one thing, it's probably like worst case scenario, right? Because it's one thing if you just get stopped in your tracks. Like you've seen people have like 8-minute pushes at points, right? Or like how it was happening at Worlds for a lot of the age group categories, where it's just like, oh, that lane is just different. Like there's nothing, you can't even overcome it. But it was probably, what would you equate it if you were to put plates on a sled? Was it like 2 extra plates? Was it like an extra plate? Like how much more would you say that would account for?
That's a good question. So 1 or 2 plates. So
that you can do it, right? But you're like, oh, this is actually just way harder now.
Yeah.
Yes, that's tough. How you feeling fitness wise though?
No, I mean, I feel good. I feel really strong. I did a workout like 9 days out from Atlanta that I did 9 days out before Boston, and I was like 2 minutes faster.
Oh wow, nice.
I was like, yo, like it's fucking game on.
Progress is happening.
Felt really confident. And like I said, the start of the race, I felt amazing. Like the efforts felt smooth. And then yeah, the sled was just kind of the thing that sparked everything after that. So fitness feels good. So we'll see what we can do. Doing doubles in Chicago with Colin.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll see how the recovery goes for Sunday on the solo day.
So you're going to do doubles first. That's how that's laid out.
So on Friday, and then singles will be on Sunday.
Meg, you've never had to do that, right?
Like no.
Doubles before? That's tough.
It's not a way I would want to do it.
No.
That's for sure. I'd be telling Colin to pick that fucking sandbag up a couple extra times. I'd be like, yo, you go.
So you're doing half the stations, right? Your effort's a little bit harder. I'd rather the more intense race be first, and the fact that it's half the volume on the stations. Maybe I'll be less sore. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose that from a perspective of like where you're going to feel better, like you'll probably feel better going into an individual after doing doubles than the other way around. But like you're still going to have had some, you're still going to do a big effort and then have to do a solo. So it's just like less optimal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you might not feel terrible, but like you still are going to do, like, you're still going to do like a really high end effort for, what do you guys think? 55 minutes?
We'll see.
We're gonna see.
Shots fired.
But then 5 days after that we have Dallas. So that's on Friday. So Sunday and then Friday.
Are you doing? Is that a?
But I'm like,
Friday?
I'm looking
solo Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it though. I've never been in this situation before.
Kent's approaching this the polar opposite to me.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm racing every race. And I'm like, I'm racing the least amount of races possible. And he's like, I'm racing every race possible.
He's out there with the people, man. He's just saying what's up.
Yeah.
Shaking hands.
And I'm trying to, after all of those DNFs that I accumulated over the last 2 years. I need to callous my mind as often as I can. So that's part of the reason I'm doing this. And I got to say, like in Atlanta, like even though it wasn't going the way that I envisioned it going, I don't think if I did have the thought of dropping out, the thought like went in and was like out of my brain like super quick. Like, so it feels good to know that at least it feels like I'm like past that, because it didn't even really cross my mind in Atlanta, even though like things were going kind of south for me. So I'm like, okay, like it's still progress. Like I found that to be just like one of my big takeaways from Atlanta, even though like the result wasn't what I wanted. I'm like, okay, like we're past that now. So
and that's great.
And it always happened on burpee broad jumps, and last 2 races, my burpee broad jumps have been
what's been going on with those? You've been murdering those.
Dude, I know.
What you been doing?
Well, I mean, they've always been a strong suit for me. It was like totally random that all of a sudden became the mental block for me. I think it was like I had that one DNF at the burpee broad jumps, and then it was just like locked in my brain at that point. So it could have been the row. It didn't matter what station it was,
More around like what was happening physically, or just like the time around it, right? Not necessarily that one station. Nice, man.
Yeah.
So you're Chicago, Dallas, just getting those reps, baby.
And then Anaheim in December.
Yeah, hitting them all. Is going to be out there. I like it. Meg, how you feeling physically post race? This was a fun weekend for you because it was the first individual. Last year you bounced back and popped into 2 doubles. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
You did a mixed and so this is like your first solo race. So for me, when I was thinking about it for you, I just was like, I know you've been healthy. I know you've been really fit. I was just like, I didn't know. I just was really hopeful that you would come out the other side, like just feeling healthy. So you feeling good? Feeling healthy?
100%. We're good to go.
Let's go.
I was definitely a bit sore on Sunday, but then honestly, I actually carried the squad a little bit Sunday. I was when I got out there and moving, I was like, "Oh, your girl is fit."
We here.
I was definitely not anticipating feeling as good on Sunday as I ended up feeling. I was really anticipating getting dragged around the race course on Sunday. So that was a nice surprise. I felt like my running was great on Sunday too. So, but yeah, first race, meant a lot, got pretty emotional there, just being on the stage, and I know what I need to work on. I think I got a 57 in me.
Let's go.
Show.
You had a 58.0, so I would think so as well.
Made like a couple little. I'm really lazy
That was a PR,
when I
right?
get on the rower. I'm really lazy to start. I like to sit down. I like to take my time. So I got a couple seconds I can shave there. So I was kind of practicing that today when I did some threshold berg work. I was like, get your feet and strap them in, bitch. Like, come on. So yeah, but I was really happy with it.
That was a PR, right, Meg?
Lifetime PR. So
that's
amazing. A lot of people were confused. Amsterdam, the course was not. Stuff was messed up in Amsterdam.
Literally short.
Not the running, but the stations were wrong or wrongo. So number one, the sleds moved like they were on icicles. So I don't know what went on there. And then the burpees were short and the lunges were short or something. So they adjusted our times. So I actually ran there a 58:00, but then I think they added like 32 seconds or something. But most of the websites that are not the HYROX official site don't have the updated add-on time. So a lot of people were like almost a PR, and I was like, no, like it was. So that was that. So with that being said, to run a faster time on a very fair course with normal sleds, I think was a really big positive for hopefully the direction that I'm trending in the fitness. So that was exciting because this course was much, I would say very fair, but like I obviously the sleds were normal sleds, like everything was normal. There wasn't anything like it didn't feel short. The runs felt the rock zone was really long, so the running time overall was definitely spot on. It was right where I thought I would be. So yeah, I think it was fair, but yeah, so just knowing the comparison and the difference between those two times from the courses, like it felt really, really good. So yeah.
What's the women's world record, by the way?
That Scotland course, 56 something, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, really?
Because of Glasgow.
The Glasgow course was rolling.
Yeah.
The recently, Meg, just past like week or two, I've had this like calf issue, so I've been finding myself on that C2 bike and just cranking away at it. So I gotta say, like I know you put in so much work wherever you could put in the work over the past, has it been year and a half, I guess, right? A little bit less than a year and a half, year and change, right?
Yeah.
So like that's been really inspirational to me to be like, okay, like seeing you come out and just absolutely rip when you hadn't done a ton of running, hadn't done a ton of HYROX stuff. So like when looking back, like what do you kind of attribute this world-class fitness for you, right? Like this is like high-end fitness for a world-class athlete. Like what would you attribute if you had to give to like one or two things that like kind of got you in this position again?
Firstly, I still do a ton of biking. That is my number one training tool in total hours. That is my highest hours per week is cycling. But I'm also running about 90 to 95 kilometers. So that's about 56 to 59, 60 miles. So my running is back up to where it had been previously, long before my injury. The biggest thing for me is I've removed my ego in my training. When I have a target pace, I hit it exactly perfect. There's no sending the last rep. There's no overpacing. Everything is exactly as written, and everything I'm doing is extremely intentional. I do not skip anything. I have not missed a workout. I have not changed a workout. I have not let my mood change anything. And my workouts are very similar every week. Very minor changes. I do the same like I know what my Friday workout is. I don't even have to look. I just need to know what's the pace this week, what's the rest period this week, what's the rest pace this week. Those are the variables that change. So for me, it was so clear because of this that I was making a ton of progress because I saw it every single week, week after week after week after week, because everything I did was repeated over and over and over again. Is this the way that most people want to train? No. No, it's boring because there isn't anything, it's not changing drastically. But I've really learned to lean into reps. I've learned to really lean into just doing the same things over and over and over again, and every rep counts. And I'm also running everything at the right paces. I think there's way too much hype and too much anaerobic work. I think VO2 max work is super overrated for HYROX. So I do a lot of threshold work. I'm doing a lot of grindy stuff that most people don't want to do. That's not exciting, but the proof is in the pudding because it's absolutely working for me.
Go ahead, Kent.
Execution. You're executing.
Flawless. And I'm not like one to be like, I'm perfect, but like I have not missed. And it's not just about skipping a session or moving a session. It's also, I have not had a failed session because every week I'm doing every workout right. So then the next workout goes right because I'm not tired from the workout before. Like the execution of being intentional and really hitting the paces. Like sometimes the paces, I was like, damn, this is kind of slow. Is this fast enough? You know what I mean? My old mind would be like, but there was a different purpose for it, you know? Or then there were times where like my boyfriend coach guy was really pushing me. And I was like, I don't know if I've got that in me. And then when I would do it, I'd be like, holy shit. Like I'd surprise myself. And that's also a great feeling.
When you're executing at that level, right, it makes training more predictable. Where
Yes.
how you kind of came into sport and approached it, you were just doing like a lot of everything, right? And that's
Yeah.
something that makes you great, right? Is like you will do more work and do it harder than everybody else. But there's a point where that will just get you so far. And if that was the only formula, right? Like it would be, everybody would just be trying to do as much as they can. The person who was left standing would be the best. And that's really not how it works. So now you've like kind of made that turn into like predictability, so that you can really understand that you're making progress for your confidence and just like for your fitness in general. The first thing you said, it was like removing the ego. Was that like, was that something you had to consciously do when you would be doing workouts, or if you felt like drawn to be doing like extra or doing like more strength or more metcons or more that VO2 max type of like really high end stuff, or stuff that you found isn't as beneficial? Like, did you have to kind of be like, why do I want to do this? And did you have to like remove it, or was it just
All
more
the
like
time? All the time. I actually said to Benny when we looked at my race photos, my arms are so much smaller than they used to be, which is crazy because people were still telling me how jacked I looked.
You
And
still
I'm
look
like,
jacked out
yo,
there.
this
Yeah.
this arm is like a, two-thirds is missing from what it used to be like. I have to consciously remind myself all the time, like my strength, my strength is top notch. I don't need any more. I don't need to go to the gym and bench press. I don't need, like, for some people that's what they need to move the needle. It's not what I need. So for me, I've had to remove my mind on like how much time I have to train. It has to go to the right things. You know what I mean? I can't be, there's only so much the body can take. There's only so many hours that I can train or I want to train or I'm mentally engaged to train. It has to be on the right things, the things that I need to work on the most. I missed running for 4 months straight last year. 4 months. Then had another interruption from May to almost the end of June. It was another 7 weeks of no running. I have to put all my chips into running. You know what I mean? So like I have to be very intentional about every run workout. And what that means is the other work I'm doing can't impact the running, because my running is I have to get this back to the level that I've been at before, if not better, right? The field is getting stronger. A lot of the women are getting faster. Now, thankfully, thankfully, having 22 years of running also makes it come back quicker. There's no denying that. So like me being off for 6 weeks isn't the same as someone who's only run for 2 weeks being off for 6 weeks. I can hop back into most stuff pretty quick. And cycling helped a lot, and all the other cardio I would do. I did the arc trainer a lot. All of that also helped. But it's just like I went through this injury, and so I have to be way smarter. I can't, I don't have the luxury to mess around, you know, and that's hard because it's not as fun, you know, like I love doing a little thruster workout or like a couple hopping in a CrossFit WOD or whatever, but is this moving the needle for me where I need to move it? No. And so that has taken a lot of discipline, but at the same time, every week I was having positive results. And so that just was the reinforcement that this is the right decision.
It sounds like that's also a matter of clarity as well, right? Like it seems like you peeled back everything that you felt like would help for HYROX and kind of honed in on a specific angle. Where a lot of times with HYROX and like when we're just starting and trying to figure it out, or like, you know, everyone's going to have different areas we need to work on, try to do everything all at once, right? So there's not like this clarity of like where you need to go. So then it like makes the training messy because it's just not clear what you're trying to work on. But you seem like it's like crystal clear, be like, if I need to get better, like I'm strong enough, it's the running.
Yep.
Right. And like everything else needs to be secondary to that. And then that just makes the priorities like way easier when it comes to deciding what to do.
Yes. And I would say with what I did, I'm very specific in my training because again, like everything has to be, there's only so much time I can give to certain things. So where can I optimize that time the most? It's probably not deadlifting. It's probably not doing an overhead press.
You wish it was
you know
shoulders.
What I'm saying? So like a lot of the strength, I'm not saying I cut it out completely, but what I did was very specific to HYROX because that's where I have to emphasize when it is my strength days because I can't invest as much time in it. So it has to really fit and it has to make sense. So I do a ton of sled work, I do a lot of single leg work because that's what's going to also keep me strong where I need to be strong for the stations. And emphasizing the cardiovascular side, the aerobic side has definitely not deterred any single station of mine.
Right.
So there's also a lot of proof in that, I think, too.
I was thinking about this yesterday in terms of just like training splits. And again, that hybrid athlete type of idea, right? Like what is a hybrid athlete? And I think if no one would ask me this because it's a weird question to ask them. It's like, oh, are you a hybrid athlete? I would say, no, I'm like a HYROX athlete.
I would too. And I have answered that way. I say I'm a HYROX athlete.
I was like, well, I guess I do both things, but but I do it for a purpose, not for like the sake of saying I can do multiple things. So it's like, the specificity and just doubling down, clarity, predictability. You're rocking. That's some athlete stuff right there. Happy
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It was a great feeling that all of that everything I went through last year, these last 5 months of just extremely disciplined, intentional training, like the race is just the demonstration, but that's the part that everybody sees.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole last 365 days is, besides what I've shared, because I've shared a lot, but I haven't shared so many moments. You know what I mean? And I know you guys know what I mean. So many breakdowns, so many moments of doubt or wondering, will I ever be at the top again? Can I ever come back really from this? Or will I have to become like the girl who races, but she's kind of more on the social media thing, right? Like, is my daughter going to be bummed out? Like if I can't do it again? I don't know. I think there were a lot of question marks at times, and it took a lot of mental strength and also a lot of learning. I had to strip myself down. I had to stare at myself in the mirror, really find out who I am. Why am I doing this? Why is this so important to me? Fuck. I was hoping I wouldn't cry on the pod again.
That's why I took the camera off. You're just like, there might be some emotions popping up there.
Yeah, like
add that to the Meg column. There's a tally.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say that because we're probably tied.
Kent's at 35, Meg's at 33.
So, it was just the celebration of all those moments where like I didn't know my fate. I didn't know what it was gonna look like. I didn't know, I can have all the dreams and hopes in the world, but I have no idea how, if my body will do it, if my body will cooperate. And I've seen it not happen. And I've really had to learn patience. This is also why I'm being very careful and I'm picking my spots carefully because I wanted to get to Worlds so bad last year. I didn't want to not be there. I wanted to defend the title. I wanted to just be in the race. And I wanted it too bad. And I had some setbacks because I pushed myself too hard and I wasn't ready. And I should have listened, because the 2 races I did try to do, I didn't trust my body at all.
Mm.
Every movement was so calculated and perfect. I had to be so careful on a burpee broad jump or on the sled pull, anything that was hingy or that could flare my back up. And that right there is a sign that I wasn't ready, because if I don't trust my body to do the right step, the next step, that's not a great way to race. And it's definitely not going to get me back to where I want to be in the race. I don't want to be like worrying on the burpee broad jumps in an elite race. I want to be 100% dialed in, sending it like I, have always sent it, not being cautious. Because that's not the time to be cautious. And so I wish I had recognized that in the moment, but now I've learned. And I've now been able to again reevaluate, and I think this will benefit me greatly in the future. I will not race ever if I'm not ready. I will not do it. I don't care if it means less sponsors. I don't care if it means not being in the elite cameras, whatever, the interviews. I don't care. I will not put myself in a position where I'm unsure how this is going to go for my health. I will never do that again. And so for me, like, I like racing, but I love training so much more. When you have to change everything you do because you can't train the way you want to or need to, for me, that's a 10 time worse feeling than missing a race. Because that's my everyday. That's my everyday life. And that's way more impactful, I think, than, missing, a major, which is one time, right? So that's just how I've approached and kind of changed my mindset on kind of what I plan on doing in the next couple, hopefully few years.
We got some years.
We got some years.
Got some years out here. Yeah, I mean, and with that, like, just the growth, like what you are learning, because yeah, even just like 2 years ago, right? It would probably been like, I think you may have told like been able to understand how this is probably the best approach, but the still with just like the how like the opportunity to race more, to be to get the experience, to just be out there on the course, like that seemed like it was like really, really important. We're now like going through it. The clarity of it all. It's like, oh, I'm a happier person if I can do this every day, as opposed to just like doing it twice a month or once a month or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think and there are times, right? Like there's different moments in your career where you're having different experiences and things change, priorities change.
For sure.
My life has drastically changed. I have to think about the long term because I'm also not getting younger. You know what I mean? Like we're all in our 30s. So
Still,
if I
Kent,
want to
maybe
do
not.
this,
And like
Kent's
Kent, like
almost out.
couple days, he's not in his 30s anymore.
I got at least a month.
At least a month.
So I think you kind of wisen up with age a little bit, and experience, and it's also a confidence. Um, I think even just sitting out, like, I feel like I still am important in the community, and I've still been able to motivate other people, and that's been super rewarding. And I feel like I've become a better coach. So there were so many positives that came out of even not competing so much last year, that like now it's kind of like, I guess I don't like need that so badly in my life. Maybe I was searching for something that I didn't have within me at the time, but I have it now because I feel fine not doing that so much.
Mm.
I think I've just found a lot of peace in myself. And so I think that's also a really good feeling. But like it sure as hell felt amazing hitting a home run. Like, I mean, a PR, like, you cannot ask for a better day than that first race back. So I still like to be the showgirl. Let's not, I won't say I don't, but you know, it has changed a lot. And the reason why I like that it has changed. It's not about the attention or the maybe making some extra coin. It's like I'm just happy to be able to do what I love at the highest level because I will always want to be at my highest potential.
Right. And that's kind of like yes, of course you want to go and race well and perform because because you put in all of this work, right? So it's the payoff of the process, right?
Yeah.
If it is just kind of like grinding, it's like, is this working? It's hard to tell, but like pursuing something that will with like a real intent and like having that pay off, I mean, that's really what it's about for anything,
100%.
for like any endeavor, right? And
Yeah,
like we're just here in this
100%.
physical space, but like, yes, performing, and that's just like a testament to like, okay, there's these barriers. Can I get through this? Can I work hard? What happens if I put my mind toward a specific goal? Like, what can I do? Right. And you just happen to be incredible at HYROX, right? But it could be anything. It could be cooking. It could be whatever, photography. But like that mindset of like what is possible is what you're just able to exhibit on the course, which is also why it's really cool to see you come back from this, right?
Thank you.
Because yeah, and that is just what's inspiring in sports in general. It's like, wow, what can be accomplished when there's dedicated focus. So
I think that's one of the best lessons that I could ever share with anybody. I don't think most people actually go all in like that. I think a lot of people think that they are, and they think they're being incredibly dedicated to something, but other things are amiss. They're not 100% there. And it's because it's scary. Because when you put all your chips in, every single one, there is the opportunity to fail. And that's a scary feeling. What if it doesn't work? What if I did all of this for nothing? And I think for me, I've really leaned into this quote and I repeat it to myself all the time. Faith and fear both rely on you to believe in something you can't see. So I always will choose faith. And I want to find out. I don't want there to be any questions. I went through a whole year of questions, question marks, and I'm really not into I don't like that. I want to know, how far can I go? How great can I be? And I'm willing to get boring and do so many things differently than I have in the past to really know. And I'm okay with whatever the outcome is because I can be so proud that I went to that place. You know? And I think that's been a big learning where, like, I think in the past I did a lot of things right and I did a lot of things not right. And I always had to, like, yeah, I thought I worked really, really hard, but I got in my own way and I had an out a little bit at times. And now I feel like I'm not giving myself an out. It's all go or no go, you know? And so I think that that's kind of a cool learning that has been positive that came from a kind of negative experience.
Locked in,
baby. Let's
That's
get it.
some fucking wisdom for y'all.
Let's go. Let's freaking go. Yeah, well, I if nothing else, that's just a great. I mean, and what we're like, again, what we are doing here, pursuing something, process, seeing what we got, giving it a little bit more than what you have or what you want to give, being honest with yourself. So, yeah, it's just great. It's great that we're all out here racing, learning,
Yeah.
doing our thing. We had a lot of good stories come from these past couple races from people in the community, athletes that we're coaching. So it's applicable to athletes of all ability levels, right? They might not be running close to a world record, but they can still, if they push their chips in, you know, what can they do? Right. And you're right, Meg. It is like, can they fail? Yes, of course they can fail. But like, you got to find out. You got to see where you're at. So nothing else. That's what we're doing here. So yeah, just happy that we're all hanging out, doing the thing.
Chicago, I know we have a lot of RMR people in Chicago. Let's go, guys.
Chicago, Dallas, going to be a scene. It's going to be a real nice time. Kent's going to be everywhere. Everywhere you go.
Dude, I'm Thursday to Monday both weekends too. So it's
damn, he's chilling, guys. Go bombard him.
I'll be around, man. I got people racing.
You turn the corner.
Let's go.
Kent's going to be there. He's got long hair. You going to stick with the hat? You going hat for the rest of the season?
It's at that length.
Where you bun it? Throw that bun.
Not
Throw
quite.
That bun. Not quite.
Not quite. And then the headband just like isn't. It's not keeping it under control.
It's got to be hat. Are you going to go bun? Is that what the goal is here?
Eventually. Yeah.
So keep a lookout for Kent. He's got the mop under the hat. Maybe by Anaheim, he'll be in a bun. Don't be surprised.
Phoenix. It'll definitely be in a bun.
Phoenix will see him in a bun. Cool. Well, appreciate you all hanging with us. Share this with a friend if you think it's helpful. Review. Takes 2 seconds on Spotify. Almost at 300. Give us a little boost. Get us past that 300 spot. But other than that, yeah, you can just check us out. Normal socials, whole deal. But appreciate you all listening, hanging in with us, following our journey, and sharing your stories. So we're happy to share ours. Anything else?
That's it.
Get after these races, fam. Let's go.
Do it.
Time to shine.
Later.